Welcome to Tectonic Nights channel. In this video, we'll walk you through a step-by-step guide to create your own quiz generator application in Python. You will learn how to integrate OpenAI's API to generate questions from YouTube videos, and we'll also cover how to build and deploy this app using Docker. Now let's dive into the coding section. We'll start by importing the necessary libraries. First, we need to install a few dependencies. These libraries can be installed using pip, and here's a list of the required packages along with their versions. We'll use the OpenAI library for generating quiz questions. YouTube Transcript API will help us fetch transcripts from YouTube videos. Flask is used to create and host the API. UUID will be used to generate unique identifiers for our quiz questions. Next, we need to set the OpenAI API key. You can find instructions for setting your API key in the description below. We'll define a route for generating quizzes using app.route. The route will trigger the generate quiz function. Here we'll list the transcripts for a YouTube video. In this example, the video ID is hard-coded, but we could modify it to accept a dynamic video ID via query parameters. Here's the code snippet. We can iterate through the transcript list and fetch the actual transcript data with English EN as the target language code. We append the transcript data in each iteration to the text variable. Once we have the transcript text, we'll create a prompt for the OpenAI model to generate quiz questions. The OpenAI model will generate quiz questions in the form of text. The completion.create method is used to interact with OpenAI API and generate text. We use GPT 3.5 Turbo Instruct model for this. Max tokens parameter sets the maximum length of the response. A prompt is the input text that we just created. And the temperature here is set to 0.7. It controls how creative or random the response is. The n parameter is set to 1. It defines how many responses to generate. The optional stop parameter allows you to specify sequences that when encountered, it will stop the model from generating more text. Here's the sample response structure. Now we'll format the text into a structured quiz with questions and answer choices. We'll use a helper function to determine if a line is question or an option. Based on that, we build our quiz questions list. The helper function will now return the text and a variable q if the text is identified as a question. When a question is encountered, we will associate it with a unique ID and the options will initially be empty. Else the written text is an answer, so we append the text to the options list. Finally, we JSONify the quiz questions. Now we need to run the Flask app to host the API on port 8000. That's it. You have got a Flask API that generates quiz questions from YouTube video transcripts. Now let's deploy this app using Docker. To do this, we can either use Docker plugin or run Docker commands in the terminal. Let's proceed with the Dockerfile creation. The Dockerfile for this project will look as follows. We'll use the official Python 3.9 image. We set the working directory inside the container to /app. We'll copy the contents of the current directory in the host machine into the Docker container using copy command. We install the dependencies by using run command. We use expose command for the application to listen on a port inside the container. In our case, it's port 8000. Finally, we specify the command to run the Flask application. Once the Docker plugin is installed in PyCharm, we can easily build the Docker image from the IDE. We go to Run Configuration Settings and specify the image tag. You can also bind ports to map container ports to host machine ports. In our example, we bind the port to 8000. For example, binding port 8000 in the container to port 8000 on the host. Once the image is built, you can run the container directly from PyCharm. Alternatively, you can build and run the image directly from the terminal using these Docker commands. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Stay tuned for more videos in this series. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.